Every single time I'm so confused. Are we rolling? We're supposed to be rolling. Okay, I'm also gonna start TikTok while we're at it. Okay. Oh, hello guys. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Aha, we are rolling. Good. How are you today, everyone? How are you? Hello, 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 hello. Let me know. Yay. Okay, that's good because I've been having some weird Wi-Fi issues here on top of my regular stream launching issues, so you can imagine the hardship, the misery. I know. Hello TikTok peeps, to you as well. Welcome as always. Dobry večer, jak ви? How are we doing? Is everyone okay? I hope so. You better be okay, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Hello Nightshade. Hello Moo. Hi guys. It's wonderful to see you all. I see Josh is also somewhere here. And Zoe, hello. And Win. How's it going, everybody? Are we having the most incredible time? Oh, hey Vicky. How are you holding up? What's the situation on the ground? Well, I mean, obviously it sounds and looks like everything is under control, but yeah, yikes. We're gonna talk about that, of course. About everything that has happened. Because I'm afraid it should be getting more attention than it is. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful to see you all. Yes, the YouTube is also live, just in case. I was worried about it. I was worried about it for a second, as always. What else is new? But yeah, it seems like everything is fine. Oh my god, no, I don't want that. The drones and more drones. Okay, let's wait for a couple more people to join before we start our discussion. Thank you Zoe, thank you everybody. Putting in the hearts. TikTok loves those hearts. Thank you. Oh, Josh, thank you. Hello, Colleen. Hi. Good to see you. Oh, Dave. Did I miss someone? Sorry. Moo. Thank you. I am not entirely sure what's up with TikTok and these hearts, but yeah, it's like a thing. It's a whole thing with this app. Every single time I log into this app, there's something new. I already told you, I feel so old. Thank you, Direwolf. You know what it's like. Hello, Dave. Hello, 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 Cedar Tree. Hello, Carolyn. Hi, guys. Yeah, so I wanted to... Actually, I was even thinking about going live before to discuss this, because this is yesterday's news, so by this point in time it should be old news. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you perhaps have not heard about it, the fact that drones made it all the way into Denmark. Oh, Vicky from Denmark. I live not far from the airport, but it was chaos here. But some experts have been out and calling the Danish defense a joke. It's an obvious weakness that our airport can be closed down so easily. So partially that was the goal. They have figured out that the airports are the main weakness. The Russians have figured it out, and I'm afraid this will not be the last attack like this that we're seeing, because they have realized they can cause a lot of disruption and a lot of financial damage at a relatively low cost to them. And I immediately thought of that when the drones were launched into Poland. Remember when we were discussing that? Because the thing that happened immediately after that was the shutting down of the airports. So the airports all across eastern Poland, so Rzeszów, Lublin, even Warsaw, even Warsaw airports, they were closed down temporarily. Because of course, right? Because with drone threats in the air, this is exactly what's supposed to happen. So, and this is something, by the way, that has been happening in Ukraine since 2022. We have all of our airports closed. And so it looks like, yeah, this is something they have just found a way to cause more damage like this. And this particular time around, it was Denmark, it was Copenhagen. And also it was Oslo, because also Oslo airport was also shut down briefly for a shorter period of time than the one in Copenhagen, but still, this is just, again, to all of us, not surprising in the slightest, right? But at the same time, still absolutely devastating. And I can imagine the chaos. So one of the reasons why airports are such an easy target is because, and some of the Danish officials were actually commenting on this, they could not potentially intercept, so shoot down these drones because they were flying above the civilian vehicles. So this is a regular airport, tons of airplanes, all fully fueled. So imagine shooting down these moving targets over something like this. Yeah, I'm afraid they have found a weak spot. Obviously not just in Denmark, but pretty much everywhere. Because again, we have already seen these instances in Poland. So, so on this footage, everybody, this is a drone. Well, the footage of the drone in Denmark, flying very close, well, above the airport practically, in Copenhagen. And there were several of these. There were 3 of these, I believe. And they're currently trying to establish what kind of drones were these, because it's unclear. They have disappeared from nowhere. Well, there are guesses from what that nowhere was. The ships, most likely they came from the ships, and then they disappeared into nowhere, which is much more interesting to me. What exactly happened to those? So, and as you can imagine, it caused, a great deal of chaos and panic. Understandably so. This is not something that happens very commonly in Denmark, out of all places. Let me open the one that I wanted to look at. So Danish state TV channel TV2 reports that 3 vessels are suspected of having launched the large drone that shut down the airport in Copenhagen for hours last night, forcing 150 flights to be cancelled or diverted. So either the sanctioned Russian cargo ship Astral 1 that sailed through the strait on Monday and made several irregular maneuvers, or the tanker Pushpa sailing under the flag of Benin and sanctioned for transporting Russian oil, another vessel considered as suspicious, a little sus, yeah, I agree. It was monitored for 4 hours by a German NATO ship, or the Norwegian cargo ship, also Carrier 3, that was 7 kilometers away from Kastrup airport, while the drones were being pursued. And this cargo ship, I think it also had, it's also kind of shady from what I have read about it. Like the company that it's registered on, I think, has a Russian director. So a lot of suspicious vessels in the area, if you ask me. And yes, several Russian-speaking people among the crew, and the ship's owner has offices in Kaliningrad. Interesting, right? So this is currently from... Thank you, Eminem. Good to see you. Good to see you. These are, from what I could tell, currently the main 3 suspects from where these drones could have potentially been launched. Does it make things any easier? No, obviously. But once again, it's this particular area that reveals itself to be a weakness, because we have seen not the similar type of threat, but we have already seen threats coming from the sea, right? We've already seen the attacks in those areas. We've already seen the cables being damaged, right, underwater, and we have seen all kinds of suspicious activities. And the Russian so-called shadow fleet of tankers has been moving through like they're at home, because of course. So yeah, very, 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 very questionable area. And now obviously it has proven that it has to be monitored for other reasons as well. So not just, looking for someone who's potentially cutting cables or doing, selling oil on the dark market. Yeah, they could also use it to launch the drones, which, again, surprise, surprise. Are we actually surprised by this one? I don't think so. So clearly this area has to be much more heavier monitored than it is currently. What else? What else is new? Putin ready to cut Trump off at the pass on Greenland. Oh boy. Here in America, I think we don't get anything that is going on over there anymore. It looks like, yeah, it looks like your information space has been, yeah, they've been busy. They've been busy talking about, well, mostly Trump from the looks of it. But also, again, it's not surprising that the domestic issues and the domestic problems would take most of the space on air. But at the same time, I would say that this is something that should be talked about, considering how heavily you guys are invested still, despite, you know, Trump's constant moves into different directions. You're still very heavily invested into the European security architecture. So yeah, this is definitely something that has to be discussed. Wait, I also had some other information. Okay, so what do we know? On Monday evening, Copenhagen airport closed off all air traffic when 2 to 3 foreign drones were discovered at and over the airport area. These were larger drones, so it's not the Mavic type of drones. It's not the like YouTuber vlogger type of drones, right? It's the bigger drones. From what I could, although take it with a grain of salt, I've been reading a lot of speculations online, but some people compare it to the Orlan. We've discussed Orlan before. This is the Russian Orlan type drone that they use mainly at the... We're also live on YouTube, everybody, and the link is in the bio if you would like to see Orlan 10 drone. So the bigger ones. But this is just a guess, of course. We do not know. There were no results of the investigation. The drones were not shut down, so we do not really have any proof. This is just a guess. I would say that it could be something like that. At the same time, it could be something new entirely that we haven't seen before, because unfortunately they keep working on their drones. It appears they are copying similar operation to Spiderweb that was done to them. I'm shocked that they are that clever. Yeah, they are. They are. And, I mean, it has already been kind of discussed, at least in Ukraine. We have had several, like people, especially military experts and people who have served the veterans, warning all of us collectively from this approach of treating them as, you know, the super ignorant, whatever. Yes, obviously there is a lot of ignorance and there is a lot of these outdated tactics and a lot of the Soviet approach, but at the same time, not all the time, right? You have smart people there, you have people who are very motivated, you have people who are interested in things. They have an extensive network globally of people who are working tirelessly to steal as much technology and ideas and parts and anything you can think of for their military industrial complex. So yeah, it's important to not underestimate them, I believe. But at the same time, also understand where this entire thing about, oh, I know they're so stupid, where it came from. It was a very good motivation boost, I think, especially for us at the very beginning. But yeah, considering that we were dealing with this myth of the, you know, great unstoppable entity, the great Russia, whatever. But no, they're learning. It's been I think recorded repeatedly that they are learning, they're growing, they're developing new systems. They have a great ally behind them, which is China, which is the world's manufacturing hub. So yeah, I would say unfortunately we are bound to see more stuff like this happening in the future. The one, obviously, this is what we're looking at. This is the Orlan. I'm not even sure that we're dealing with Orlan. It could have been something else entirely, because they're working on their drones tirelessly. So, okay, Vicky, we are taking over the EU foremanship for the next year. Next weekend, I think all of the EU leaders are coming to Denmark. The drones have put a massive work on Danish authorities to work on jamming, so it doesn't happen when they come again. Yes, this is, I think, the smartest thing that you could possibly do. And I was reading some of the official sources and some of the explanations for, you know, why the response was the way it was. But I think a huge thing, though, that they're not really saying is that it was actually pretty unpredictable. No one could predict that something like this was going to happen. But anyway, and so the point about airports being such a sensitive place that you cannot shoot down the drones over. Well, Copenhagen airport is pretty big, right? And also it's full of aircraft, so you cannot do that. But also you couldn't jam them, again, because of how sensitive the airport area is. You cannot just randomly jam the entire area. So there have to be some preparations. Also, it's going to cause massive outages for GPS, for the civilian users. Also, it could cause problems with the internet. This is something that has been happening in Ukraine, but mainly in Russia. So when Russians are jamming the drones that are incoming onto the Russian territory, the entire area experiences these massive outages. The GPS hasn't worked properly, and the mobile connection, the internet hasn't worked properly in Crimea for a while now. Mostly the mobile internet, though. So like the home internet it's okay, but the mobile internet and just receive, such basic things as receiving phone calls or SMS texts, right? Even that isn't working properly when the area is heavily jammed. So there's also that to be considered, right? What's the impact going to be on the civilians in the area? Because without the proper warning, it might cause the panic. Like all of a sudden, all of your mobile phones stopped working. Imagine just the scale of the horror. No TikTok. So there's so much work that could be done potentially. And by the looks of it, they're taking all of this into account, right? There's going to be consultations once again, and there are going to be some measures taken, hopefully. So yes, those were the larger drones that could stay in the air for 3 to 4 hours. Interesting assumption. Potentially it could be even more, depending on what we're dealing with, or the kind of modification we're dealing with. But anyway, the drones came from several sides, but all of them from the water side across that we've already talked about that it was most likely from the ships. The drones turned on. Oh yeah, the fact that the drones were turning their lights on and off and flew in different patterns over the airport. So you can tell that it was planned, it was coordinated, and whoever was navigating those drones clearly knew what they were doing. So yeah, and it just confirms the fact that they were mostly sent to Copenhagen to just cause panic, right? To scare people, and also just to show, look, right, this is what we can do. Again, kind of similar to what they did in Poland before. According to the Copenhagen police, this indicates that the purpose was to be seen and perhaps to practice such action. Yeah, could be that as well. Launching something from the ship and then just, seeing. But this is, again, the entire pattern, everything we've seen from them in the last several weeks, right? Everything we have seen from the Russians with all of these new sporadic attacks, with the jets entering airspace, with drones coming in, with GPS jamming, it's like they're trying all of these different directions, like they're trying to confuse. Because we've already discussed, right, that it's very unlikely that if there were to be an attack on the NATO territory, that it would be similar to the way they attacked Ukraine in 2022. There isn't going to be a massive buildup of the troops and them moving into one direction. They understand that they will be burned, right? So what we're looking at is the potential, multitude of hybrid attacks in different directions, meant to confuse and distract and also wear the defenders thin. Because which area are you concentrating on? You have such a huge potential front line. So I think I don't know if this makes sense, but I feel like this is the thought pattern here. It's them showing, look, we can start here, we can do thing here, we can do it here. I don't know, Finland, Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, Latvia, Denmark. How about that? Bet you did not expect that. So there is also an element of that. I can almost see them. Actually, they were quite giddy, by the way. If you're interested about what the response from the Russian propagandists in particular was, they were super giddy about that. And then they immediately obviously went into denial, because they're all now saying that they have no idea and they had nothing to do with it. This is the official Russian position. 3 seconds until they start blaming it on Ukraine. Probably they are already blaming it on Ukraine, I just haven't seen it. But yeah. Hello, Roshkin. Hello. And TJ, hi. They're trying to toe the line of what is war. Yeah. Exactly, right? And desensitize. Oh, that too. That too, by the way. The more of this is going to happen, just like we have seen with these drones entering the Baltic airspace for such a long time, right? When we've been talking about this for how long? I don't know, months by this point in time. And it wasn't even, thank you, Michelle, it wasn't even making any headlines anymore because it became such a common occurrence. So could be that as well. Sorry, let me see what you guys were saying. Do you think Poland means what they said about the next time debris hit them, they will strike back? I think so. And I think when Sikorski made the statement, that was the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland, Radosław Sikorski, and his statement, very strong statement, by the way, I really liked it. Recently Sikorski raised, he has risen among the ranks of all of the European politicians for me, and I think that's by design. Yeah, so he, I think, voiced the NATO position. I don't think this is just his position. I think it has been, yeah, there have been some conversations behind the closed doors. Rutte, on the other hand, the NATO chief, said a very, well, not a different thing, but he continues to play it tough. So he said, we actually could have shut down those Russian jets, but we knew they represent no danger. So next time when we see there's danger, we will also, we will take care of them, right? We will shoot them down, whatever. So that was, that was interesting. That was like someone playing a computer game. I could have, if I wanted to, I could have just taken you out, you and your whole team. All right, but yeah, it looks like, I mean, it's still, they're still moving in the same line pretty much on this issue, so I think it has been discussed. And also totally makes sense. Of course, this is something that they have to do. Are you kidding me? The only reason Estonia didn't shoot it down is because Estonia doesn't really have anything to shoot it down with. Right, so the planes that were patrolling the Estonian sky were the Italian planes, and I don't think Italians would want that very much. But yeah, I think Estonians would have definitely considered something like this if they had Patriots, for instance, which I don't think they do, unfortunately. Denmark is one of the biggest Ukraine supporters in the, yes, 100%, for which we're very grateful, Vicky. We are. And yeah, they've had a very strong position, very consistent position on that as well. That's true. Let's see. There is talk that the drones in Denmark were pranks. Well, then I think there has to be some sort of official proof of that. You know why I don't think it's prank? Because of how large the drones were. Those are actual drones. Like, these are not just Mavics. Right? It's not the small ones that your favorite YouTuber, Mr. Beast, is using or something. It's like the actual, the larger, the bigger stuff, you know? But if it turns out to be a prank, which I seriously doubt, it should still be investigated and it should still be punished accordingly, like they did in Poland a couple of days ago. There was a Ukrainian man and a Belarusian girl, and they had a Mavic drone, like this regular, you know, videoing type of drone, and they were flying it next to the Poland's government buildings in Warsaw, and yeah, they got arrested. The girl was fined, I think, and the guy got deported. Just to show how seriously these things are taken now. Which, if you keep in mind what time we're living in, right, and what's happening, I think it makes a lot of sense. But again, we will wait for the results of the investigation, of course. Currently, we're just discussing what we already know, right? We're making, of course, some guesses, informed, as informed as we can be. So, wait, what happened? Did I miss someone? Are you still going to bash Trump up to his positive comments about Ukraine? Yes, we're gonna get to him. And I will. Wait, do you really think that this is one of those cases when someone is only good to me I immediately change my entire position because, they were good to me. And it doesn't matter, thank you, Josh. And it doesn't matter that they're still just an awful, terrible person to everyone else, for instance. Come on, no, this is not what we do here. How do you live like this? I don't know. Also, okay, we will get to Trump. First it's Denmark, we will get to Trump. He will get his time to shine in this conversation. Vicky. I don't know, for some reason Mr. Beast is the only YouTuber I could think of. Oh, Katja, you're also from Denmark. I see. The most important thing here, thank you, hello Henrik, is not to panic, right? Which I know it sounds silly, but trust me, coming from me and coming from our experience, it means something. It is really, really important, and trying not to get into your head about everything, and not to overreact, hopefully, because this is one of the goals. It's important to remember that this is one of the goals. I remember some of the collective fits of panic that we had at the beginning of 2022, and some of them were very, very deliberately induced by the enemy, right? So they would do these disinformation campaigns, for instance, that were meant to literally scare us and to make us all panic. And I remember falling for a couple. I remember falling for one. They started posting videos of them allegedly being already somewhere near Lviv, like their helicopters were near Lviv. And I was freaking out about that, and then it turned out to be fake. But yeah, this is just something to be on the lookout for. So I really liked, by the way, from everything that I've seen, from the official statements from the Danish police and all of the politicians who talked on the matter, I really liked the way they communicated. I mean, obviously it could have been better, but I think, for the first time especially, it was clear, it was to the point. Also, there was no of the, what could it have been? Who could have done this possibly? I guess we'll never know. Like, for instance, here I have a couple of articles, like The Guardian, for instance, here saying, is Copenhagen drone incursion further evidence of Russian interest in Allied airspace? Gee, I don't know, Dan. What do you think? Or we have the one and only New York Times being like, drone sightings force Copenhagen and Oslo airports to close temporarily. It was not immediately clear who was flying the drone. Right, so thankfully there wasn't anything like that. Everything was clear, everything was to the point. They were not excluding any possibilities. Who could that be? Gee, I wonder who could... YouTube, I hope you guys appreciate the meme. Twitch streamers, I know, we're just doing a Mr. Beast challenge. Jesus, take the wheel. It's one of the reasons why we're not on Twitch, everybody. Right. Okay, sorry, I've missed some messages. Apologies for that, everybody. Hello, Kathy. Good to see you. Let me just scroll. I don't think anyone trusts him, really. We will get to him and why his U-turn isn't really impressive by this point. Hello, Far5. Good to see you too. Is Denmark in danger? I mean, as much as the entirety of NATO is, I would say. But it's best to be safe than sorry, right? It's best to discuss these things now and come up with solutions for this now, especially, when there was such a clear warning of what is happening, of what could potentially happen. Obviously, no one is going to carpet bomb you, right? So let's not do that. Because I see people's thoughts immediately jumping, to the worst possible scenario. So no. Now it's actually it has a potential to become, you know, sort of a vaccine, and for, you know, for your officials, for your army in particular, to start preparing for these possible attacks. They will do some drills, they will figure out how to better respond. I really hope, you know, the humble me hopes for stronger patrolling of the sea, because it has already proven to be a massive threat and a massive liability. And yeah, there was one German ship in the area, but it's not enough, clearly, right? There has to be something else. So, but I'm thinking there are currently people discussing this thing exactly. Yes, the meme appreciation, thank you. Okay, what else did we know about the situation? After about 4 hours in the air, the drones flew away again. 4 hours? Wow, okay, that's a lot. I somehow missed that. Wow. The drones flew away again in different directions around 9 p.m. It is unknown from where the drones were launched. Okay, we've already talked about that. It's most likely the ships. We talked about that. Several pictures and observation of the drones, but the police do not at this time want to provide details of the type. Okay, so they have an idea. They have an idea of what this could have been. Okay. The police consider that a capable actor is behind the action. It is an actor who has the capabilities and willingness to show off in this way. Show off and to practice. Again, who could this possibly... Vladimir, is this you? No way. No. We all know you want peace. We all know you want peace. One piece. Drones, yeah, they are terrifying, but they're not the end of the world, right? Once you figure out, especially, what to do with them. It's absolutely terrifying when there is hundreds of them. So I think when it's getting started with a couple of them, it provides you with an opportunity to learn, right? To study the patterns and the possible scenarios. So there is time. There is time. It's not like they launched thousands of drones immediately. Because by the looks of it, if they did, yeah, then that would have been a pretty horrifying situation. But hopefully, again, this experience will be taken into account and it will be reinforced. So the air defense will be reinforced, especially around the critical infrastructure, such vulnerable infrastructure. And by the way, just a couple days ago, we had this massive cyber attack on several European airports. So yeah, I guess in a way it was a warning of sorts. But then again, maybe it was not Russia. Maybe it was someone, I don't know, someone imaginary. My imaginary husband Victor, maybe, you know. Guess we'll never know. Wait, is live glitching? You guys, please let me know. Are we glitching? Got One Piece. Yes, I'm a huge One Piece fan, especially recently. I've re-entered my obsession with One Piece. Okay, you guys, please let me know. Nancy, we've been mostly discussing the drones in Denmark, right? So this is the only topic we have managed to discuss so far. So the Tooth Fairy is armed now. Okay, if it's lagging, let me try this. Hopefully it will be better. Let me know if it has gotten better or if it has gotten worse. All right. Wait, when was... So this is still me looking at the situation yesterday. And I think a couple of hours after the first announcements, the Russians started denying everything, because of course they did. Would be surprising if they didn't. And yes, the PM Frederickson stated that the drones are a continuation of Russian violations that have been previously seen. Which, yes, 100%. God, I love it when smart people talk. It's so nice. Yes, exactly. It's so nice when you apply logic to things. Okay, now it's glitching again. Oh no, come on. No, she's too cool. She is too cool. I could never be Robin. Not in a million years. Okay, YouTube is smooth. Okay, that's good. So it's just the TikTok that is glitching apparently. We will have to... The last 10 minutes have been iffy. Okay, let's see. I have just switched back to Wi-Fi. Hopefully it will improve the situation. Because before that I was on my 5G. Yes, the one that eats your brain. And gives you COVID, according to some groups of people. Hopefully it will be better. Okay, yeah, this is also when they announced that they will be discussing these drones at their defense ministry. Good. Yes, and then in a couple hours after that, Russia denies involvement in drones over Copenhagen airport. Again, who could have thought? Russian President Vladimir Putin's, spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, we hear baseless allegations from there every time, he said in a daily briefing. Again, how surprising would it be if he said something else, if he didn't lie for once? I would be so shocked. No Danish authorities have said whether it is believed that Russia is behind it, but it hasn't been rejected either. And yeah, that's already enough to piss them off. From the Ukrainian side, however, they pointed in direction of Russia right after the incident. Yes, thank you, Zoe. We're also live on YouTube, everybody, and apparently it's smooth, and everyone is very happy. No issues in Ohio, says Mike, and Thomas says it's fine. TJ says 5G gave me superhuman Labubu detection powers. Now this is absolutely horrifying, but I love it. So YouTube is linked in bio as always. So they will only continue doing that. They will only continue messing with the algorithm, I'm afraid. So yeah, if you do not want us to lose each other, you can always go to YouTube and follow me on there. If TikTok is destroyed, we will always have each other over there. I still can't get over the fact that we have Russia sympathizers here in the Netherlands. We have Russia sympathizers in Ukraine, my friend. So if you think this is bad, trust me. Yeah, it's like a disease. It's like a disease, so absolutely not surprising. It's just that, you know, for years and years and years we have been thinking of these people as just like, okay, local lunatics, right? But recently, a lot of them have been turning into just straight on, you know, enemies of the people. In what sense? They're collaborating with Russia, right? Jesus. Okay, I think I'll have to close the window because what is happening? Is this a dinosaur? Are they resurrecting dinosaurs now in France? So a lot of the people from this pool, unfortunately, they have certain tendencies, and at times when you can freely recruit people for your interest through the internet, right, and you can just pay them usually not even that much money, so that they could do your bidding, especially during wartime. Yeah, this is when it becomes a real liability. Okay. Oh, hello, Summer. And hello, Sammy. Hello, everyone. We're already discussing drones in Denmark, everybody. Wrapping it up, actually, quietly. Let me have a little sip. I'm still sick, you guys. I hate being sick. Who loves being sick? But yeah, this thing, it's like this. Just when I think, okay, I'm getting better, finally I can live, boom, it hits me across the face again. So apologies if I sound a little off. I have discovered, however, this incredible thing in a French pharmacy. All of the cool blogger people, they go to French pharmacy and buy themselves like nice skincare, right? Some like cosmetics, maybe like a lip balm. What do I buy? A spray for sore throat. It's called Hexa spray, and it was good. It was actually good, because today when I woke up, I didn't think I would be able to go live. And then I got myself this thing. And now I can talk to you about the drones. How nice is that? Oh my god, I sound like I'm sent in by the big pharma. RFK Jr. will shoot me. Okay. So what else did I forget to mention? There was an interesting moment throughout all of this, so we had all of these like statements. EU Commission considers drones in Denmark pointing towards Russia. Authorities are in difficult task to eliminate the drones. And then among all that, also in Sweden they have received calls about drones too, by the way. Police in Malmö have received several calls about drones spotted in late Monday night. That's the French dinosaurs again. Somewhere here, I cannot find the exact thing, Germany has kind of admitted that it has been happening in Germany for a while now with the drones. And that was the most confusing thing to me, because I was like, wait, what, why do we find out about it kind of casually, randomly? But then when I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, perhaps it makes sense. Because, oh, thank you, ChatGPT, hello. Yeah, this is German Deputy Defense Minister saying that Denmark could count on Germany's support, yes, but also somewhere... Yes, Germany. We've experienced similar incidents, they have said. Germany's Deputy Defense Minister said that Germany has experienced a similar incident that Denmark experienced on Monday. We have experienced similar incidents, thank you, a lot of repetition of the similar incidents that they have experienced that were discussed this afternoon at NATO's headquarters, because, yeah, they've also had this, and that was very confusing to me because I haven't heard about this before. What happened in this regard? There was a Russian plane flying over it in a very uncertain way in the Baltic Sea. It happened a few days ago, so we see a pattern of uncertain behavior on the part of Russia, which is being handled by NATO in a very orderly way. Wait, is this the one where there was a Russian jet in the Polish airspace? Do they mean this? Okay, anyway. Russia, however, denies the involvement. Okay. Anyway, I do know for a fact that there have been instances in Germany with the Mavic drones used in the proximity of important, like, military facilities. Oops, what did I do? What did I press? And that there were, because those things could be used for spying, right? Those things could be used for spying. They could be used to gather information, the type of information that you perhaps cannot get from the satellites. So what do? They purchase locals in the area of interest, and then they tell them, okay, you go and buy a drone, a Mavic drone, film whatever's happening in the area, especially, imagine if it's something like very sensitive, if it's like an airport, a polygon, a factory, any sort of military facility. But these days, honestly, any piece of infrastructure could be considered an important, crucial even, to defense and, you know, proper functionality of a state. So yeah, I've heard about those, but yeah, this one, I just liked how casually they have brought this up, Germany. Yeah, we've experienced that too, by the way. I was like, nice. Oh, this is how we find out about it, huh? Okay. A different jet. Oh my god, okay, then I'm even more confused. So perhaps then it's a part of their strategy on, you know, more censorship when it comes to information, hopefully. Then there is another jet. Okay, I have to do some extra research, because I was actually researching this topic when I stumbled upon this topic. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, Germany's like, oh, by the way, now that we're on the topic of the Russian jets and drones, we had one flying by. Ні, ми ще не було. Я не знаю, де вона полетіла, кудись. Більше не було. Бо якщо б вона мене вкусила, то було б все. Oh, thank you, ChatGPT. It's a crab. Thank you. Dancing crab. You are a dancing crab. Do, 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 do. Oh, hello, Mary from Denmark. Hello, good to see you. Hope you guys are staying safe. Thank you for supporting Ukraine. I'm all hopped up on Tylenol. No, Josh, no, not Tylenol, this is it. Do you understand what you have done? Now, listen. I didn't even want to say anything, but oh my god. So those of you guys, to the Europeans who do not know, it's the paracetamol, right, that they mean. When Trump says that the thing that causes autism is Tylenol, they mean paracetamol. Oh, thank you, Nightshade, thank you. Wow. And see, I'm never one for big pharma, but this is one of those cases when I would love for them to sue both of them, but in particular RFK Jr., just for fun, because but at first it's funny because it's shocking, right? You don't think such an incompetence could exist, and then when you actually start thinking more about it and the potential damage that it could do, such rhetoric, it's yeah. So that's why I try not to think too much about these people, in particular about RFK Jr. All right. Okay. I think I haven't missed anything important, hopefully. Good evening, Suzanne. How are you doing? How are you doing? Okay, but I think for now this has been it regarding the drones. So by the looks of it, there is a lot of very competent people over there in Denmark who are handling it, and they're having all of the discussions, and hopefully they will take all of the necessary measures. I have a great trust in Denmark, so. But yeah, and about the Oslo airport in Norway, that was also closed because of the drones, right? So yeah, they were also kind of, well, at least according to the statement from the police, they did not know whether it was a drone or not. Yeah, my money would be on the drone, Oslo police. But yeah, which was observed at Oslo airport. Police director told it's unclear what was observed. There are conflicting perceptions of the observations that were made. Very politically correct. Thank you, police chief Håkon Skolstad. But yeah, I think we'll know. But yeah, we will wait, of course, for the official statements. The police director further explains that the observations may be due to light or different kinds of a celestial body. A UFO. Oh, I want to believe. But it's still good that they took all of the necessary precautions. They still shut down the airport temporarily, which is good, despite the fact that it could have been a UFO. Or maybe actually this is the perfect moment to shut down the airport, when you think there's a UFO in the area, just in case. You never know. Swedish PM Express support. Okay, good. So yeah, it was all from yesterday. It was a recap, everybody. Oh, well, we will be keeping an eye out on the situation, as always. You know us, this is what we do here. So yeah, you guys in Denmark, do not panic, okay? Not panic. Still, this is not the end of the world. In fact, this is the situation that could be made into a positive one if the correct approach is taken. So, by the way, we had some of the Ukrainian experts commenting on the topic of how far can Russia hit Europe with the Shahed drones, and yeah, some of the forecasts are kind of gloomy, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world. Once again, it just means that you have time to prepare, right? You have time to prepare, and that everyone has to start thinking about preparations ahead of time. Well, you still have time, right? They're mainly busy with us, and C still hasn't started the invasion of Taiwan, so there's still time. All the way to Madrid, right, was one of the... Let me open the original. Just a moment. No, I want original, because this... Let me tell you guys, the automated translation from Ukrainian sucks. It's awful. The one from Russian is so much better. But yeah, this map, I think, this map is pretty telling. So depending on where they could potentially position the Shaheds, right? So the three possible locations that they're looking at in this article is the So Kaliningrad, the Russian enclave, famous Russian enclave next to Poland and Lithuania. Then there is just the Western Russian territory. For some reason, they're not looking at the possibility of Belarus. But yeah, if it could be even further if the drones are launched from Belarus, and also the temporarily occupied Crimea, right? And yeah, you can see that they can reach all the way up to southern France. And if the launchers are pushed towards Belarus, then yeah, then this is when I believe Spain also becomes a possible target. Yes, that's another infographic. That's 700 kilometers more. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind when dealing with Shaheds, because these drones that are currently so the type of drones that have been dealt with, it's these unknown drones. Oh, hello Cinderella, good to see you, welcome. The unknown drones that we have seen in Denmark, the Gerbera, the Shahed decoys that we have seen in Poland, and also the Maviki, just the regular ones that they use for like good old espionage. But the Shahed, yeah, it's an entirely different thing, an entirely different beast. Thankfully, you guys, oh, thank you, ChatGPT. Thank you. Thankfully, you guys have a good friend to the east. It's called Ukraine. And yeah, we know some things about dealing with Shaheds, so there's already some collaboration between us and Poland regarding dealing with these beasts. So yeah, of course, I imagine we will be more than happy to collaborate with Denmark as well, considering how incredibly kind Denmark has been to us. So yeah. The problem with Shaheds for now is the fact that we've already talked about, right? That they're very cheaply manufactured. They can manufacture a lot of them, and they're constantly modifying them. So the current Shahed that we're dealing with right now is already very different from the original one that they purchased, the line of manufacturing to which they have purchased from Iran in 2022. So it's an entirely different beast. But again, there is nothing that cannot be shut down. If it flies, it can be shut down, so that's good. Anyway, oh, thank you, Cinderella. This is wonderful. Thank you. Good to see you too, Loris. How are you today? It's not the end of the world, just Russia trying to be USSR again. In a way, I would say it's not really USSR, it's something else entirely. USSR had an ideology. This thing, I don't know what that is. Today it's one thing, today they are the imperial orthodoxy wannabe. Tomorrow they are worshipping Stalin. Yesterday they were talking about how great of capitalists they are and how they want to be the economic capital of the world. Yes, this is one of the things that they're saying. So yeah, it's a chimera. So was there anything interesting in the UN summit? Oh yeah. Oh yes, there have been, and on Truth Social as well. So let's just quietly and slowly move towards, first and foremost, we had Zelensky's speech. Now that we're on the topic of the drones, and this is what he also talked about. He talked about the drones. Okay, can we hear you?
Now there are tens of thousands of people who know how to professionally kill using drones. Stopping that kind of attack is harder than stopping any gun, knife, or bomb. This is what Russia has brought with its war. It used to be that only the strongest countries could use drones because they were expensive and complex. Now even simple drones can fly thousands of kilometers. War tech doesn't care about geography anymore. It's now reshaping it. Just recently, airports in Europe had to shut down because of drones. Authorities couldn't even say what kind of drones they were, who sent them, or from where. Last week, North Korea announced the test of a tactical strike drone. That means even countries with limited resources can now build weapons that are dangerous to their neighbors. Ukraine and nations like Saudi Arabia know all too well how dangerous Iranian attack drones are. But what happens when all the types of drones become available, even to small terrorist groups or cartels? The world moves too slowly to protect itself, and weapons move fast. Now companies are already working on drones that can shoot down other drones, and it's only a matter of time, not much, before drones are fighting drones, attacking critical infrastructure and targeting people all by themselves, fully autonomous and no human involved.
So yeah, that was a pretty sobering moment, I think. But yeah, this is one of those rare moments when I agree with him fully. This is basically everything that we have been talking about in the last, I don't know how many lives. The danger of drones, the fully automated process, using drones with AI, right? How it's going to change warfare. He also points out the fact that, for instance, places like North Korea are very excited about getting the drones, because, and of course they will, considering their close cooperation with Russia. I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the technologies that Russians would outsource to them. So yeah, it's a gloomy perspective, but only if you choose inaction, right? Only if you choose to ignore it and pretend like nothing happens. If you choose action and if you choose, to respond to this, then I think there's still a possibility of overcoming even something like this, because every couple decades we have this, yet another technology scare. There were so many scares like this in the military world, and I mean, you can think of many from the top of your head, and then eventually we came up with ways to, I guess, continue living. Oh, in the crab, thank you. I just immediately thought of the invention of gunpowder, right? How this was supposed to be this, oh my god, insane thing. And it did change everything, but then, world adjusted and moved accordingly. But yeah, so Zelenskyy was on top of his game at the UN General Assembly. That was very, very good, very pleasant for me to see. Oh, Loris, you were also sick. I'm still sick myself. There's something in the air. Today they have sent out warnings about some sort of virus from Tanzania that scared the bejesus out of me. It was apparently, okay, I don't think this is what you and I have, but listen. So today I'm waking up, I'm receiving the notification from the French Ministry of Health, I think, something like this, all in French. Well, I look at it, I can read some French, I'm like, what is happening? A case of the virus, and it has some very strange name. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I will sound vaguely racist, so no, we're not going to do this, but it's clearly some Tanzanian word. A case of this virus in the area. Apparently mosquitoes are the problem, so they are the carriers of the virus. And it gives you some sort of insane rash, and all of your joints get swollen, because I read up on that virus, and oh my god, this was not the imagery that I needed in the morning. So yeah, and on top of that, COVID is back, because it never left. So you guys, stay safe out there, okay? Sane and safe, our motto. Okay, Zelenskyy. They met with Trump, everybody. They met with Trump, Zelenskyy and Trump, if you would like to see them sitting next to each other once again, giving us all flashbacks into the meeting that must not be named. You can go to YouTube. We're going to look at bits of it right now. But yeah, this was when they asked Trump if he thinks NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace. And yeah, this was, I think, one of the moments that gave a lot of people hope. This is the beginning of the Trump's U-turn.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Would you back up NATO allies? You said that you thought that they should shoot down the Russian aircraft. Would you back them up? Would the United States help them out in some way?
Depends on the circumstance, but, we're very strong toward NATO.
Do you think...
Whatever that means. Depends on the circumstance, but we are very strong towards NATO. Make of that what you will. I mean, a lot of people think that it's a positive thing compared to where we were a couple of days ago, when we were all talks of isolationism and the main priority being defending the US territory. Well, 2 days later, and we're very strong towards NATO, so okay, cool. But the biggest surprise that came was the Truth Social statement, everybody. Prepare. This is something that has caused a lot of feedback. Okay, let's read first. After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Okay, let's read, then we will discuss. With time, patience, and the financial support of Europe, and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started is very much an option. Why not? Why not? Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win. This is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger. When the people living in Moscow, TikTok wanted to kick me out. When the people living in Moscow and all of the great cities, towns, and districts all throughout Russia find out what is really going on with this war, the fact that it's almost impossible for them to get gasoline for the long lines that are being formed and all of the other things that are taking place in their war economy, where most of their money is being spent on fighting Ukraine, which has great spirit, and only getting better, Ukraine would be able to take back their country in its original form and, who knows, maybe even go further than that. Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and this is the time for Ukraine to act. In any event, I wish both countries well. In any event, I wish both countries well. We will continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do what they want with them. Good luck to all. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. So, this was the statement, everybody. This was the statement that said that many people, thank you, Skish. Many people believe marks a U-turn in his policy. I am, however, skeptical because exactly, Auntie Debbie, this is first of all, this is just words, right? This is just a post on Truth Social, so we are yet to see any sort of backing to these words. However, I guess in a way it is a progress. At least he's not calling us names anymore. He even complimented us, right? The bar is on the floor, everybody. We have the indication that they will continue to supply weapons to NATO. We've already discussed. It's called the Pearl mechanism. This is the new way to supply Ukraine with military aid, basically, just under a new name. We've also, by the way, I don't think we have discussed, but we have had the first U.S. developers arriving in Ukraine because the mineral deal. Remember that? Yeah, they have arrived in Kirovohradsk Oblast. So, okay, I guess that's something. But still, right, all of these words and all of this rhetoric, as nice as it is, as amazing as it sounds, we're still in the same place where we were just before he truthed this thing at us. So I don't think there is something to celebrate until we see any actual movement in this direction. Until we see, for instance, I don't know, more Patriot batteries being sold or given through the Pearl mechanism or whatever, things like this happening. But yeah, it did cause an uproar of sorts in the Kremlin. Medvedev immediately replied on his Telegram, "We're not going to do that." It wasn't particularly funny. You could tell that he was mad. And that's it. Not even tried to come up with funny insults, because the last time he did, right after that, Trump deployed some nuclear submarines in the vicinity, and I guess that got Medvedev beaten up a bit in a basement, so he went quiet for a couple of days. So this time he was tame, and we're not going to look at it. But yeah, this is something that a lot of people are celebrating as this massive U-turn on Ukraine. I guess time will tell. I don't know. Good luck to all. Yeah, good luck to all was my favorite. No. I wish both countries well, especially after roasting Russia for kind of roasting and kind of not, right? The great cities, but also paper tiger. And impossible for them to get gasoline, which is true, by the way. Not for all regions, but yeah, it's true because, oh, thank you, Henrik. Thank you. This is very nice. Thanks. But for some, we've already discussed the shortages of gasoline in the occupied Crimea and Donbass. It has also reached Belgorod, which is the region of Russia that borders Ukraine. So there they've also been experiencing some shortages. And yeah, their exports have fallen to 2020 levels, apparently. So, yeah. Okay, let me see. But yeah, we are still, yeah, a bit of a train wreck, you guys. But I've seen so much optimism from, you know, some of the people who are quite well respected by me, and they're, oh, finally, yes, exactly. This is like really, this is the type of stuff that we're celebrating now. Okay, sure. But yeah, among the people who were very happy. Well, not very happy, but I guess happier than before. Zelenskyy went on Fox News. Poor guy. This is one of those cases when I'm ready to admit it. Poor guy. Anyway, he went on Fox News to discuss his relationship with President Trump and other things. And yeah, this is what he had to say about the situation.
Your relationship with President Trump seems to have improved. Is that fair to say?
I think we have better relation than before, and I think we didn't have close relation.
Better relation than before, because you remember the before, right? You remember how he almost got himself beaten up by J.D. Vance and the rest of them, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend back in February. So yeah, I guess it's better than before. All right.
Because we didn't have maybe time. I don't know other reasons. It's good that we have often phone calls and meetings, and I think the fact that Putin was lying to President Trump so many times also made a difference between us.
You know, I know your relationship with President Trump seems to have improved.
Here was, oh, okay, that was not intentional, everybody. I did not want to pause on this person's face. What is happening? Oh my God. That's some post-mortem situation this guy has going for him. Jesus, take the... Okay. The heartbreak caused by Putin, right? This is what brought Zelenskyy and Trump unprecedentedly close. So we have a bit of a star-crossed lover situation by the looks. I love triangle. So Putin was getting in the way. Okay, we'll see. Again, we'll see. So what's up with this guy, though? For real, you guys. What's happening? There's so many questions. He's like an older version of Ken, whose life went terribly wrong. Okay. So, yeah, that's what Zelenskyy had to say. But you can also tell he's being very careful. He's still clearly, obviously coached by the people before he goes anywhere in the vicinity of Trump, because... just in case, so that we would avoid, you know, the worst case scenario. A win is a win, I know. A win is a win, everybody. Oh yeah, the crown was wonderful, right? It was, oh, it's so nice. Thank you. Thank you once again, Henrik. The MAGAs were mad too. Oh, were they? But they're always mad though, no? When are they not mad? Just whenever I look at something, like they're constantly mad at something, no matter what's happening. They find a reason to be mad. It's an interesting state of mind to exist in constantly. I saw our far-right party praising Trump's speech, and I was like, WTF is going on? Yeah, everyone is like, wow, such a strength. But that was actually what we were just reading. This was the Truth Social post. Before that, he also gave a speech to the rest of the world, where, yeah, when he told Europe is going to hell, that one. No, we're not going to be looking at that, you guys. Sorry, no. It's already everywhere, and I think you've already had enough of that, so I'm not going to ruin your evening any further with this stuff. But, yeah. Also, this is the happiest we've ever seen Zelenskyy next to Trump. And in his little jacket. Trump is doing it good, whatever that is. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. This is nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. TikTok has these coolest, like flower crowns and regular crowns and all kinds of stuff. It's insane. Thank you. Thank you. Really, Finland's defense ministry website crashed following the US attack. There's going to be more of that. We've already seen an attack on the airports. There's going to be more attacks on the different, government websites, anything you can think of. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind. Protect your data, just in case. We have recently had a massive leak because we have this. Basically, it's like an ID app. It's called DIA in Ukraine. That stores a bunch of very sensitive data. Basically, it stores a bunch of your documents, and you can use it as an official ID. One of the reasons why I don't use it, because I don't trust this type of stuff. But a lot of people do because it's convenient, right? It's like all of your documents in this official app on your phone, which to me sounds like a disaster because, deep down I'm 84 years old and I'm scared and I don't trust these things, but also because this stuff there are constant attacks against it and there are constant leaks because of those attacks. And recently there was another attack. They're claiming that no, there were no leaks this time, but still, for some reason I don't trust this. So let's protect our data and let's be careful just in case, because you never know. You never know. MAGA anger is the only true perpetual motion. Am I serious? I think so. I don't know. If I could be joking. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Trump thinks he can convince Hungary and Slovakia to stop buying Russian oil. Slovakia was kind of more on the fence, but yeah, Orban said no decisively. He needs it. A lot of that oil is his own pocket oil. He needs it. Who's gonna provide for the zebras? Come on, you guys. Someone has to provide for the zebras at a mansion. I also liked this one. Quote from Trump: "Relationship with Putin didn't mean anything, unfortunately." It's like a Taylor Swift song. It could have been a Taylor Swift song. We're never, ever, ever getting back together, you guys. This is it. But then again, don't be surprised if in 2 days it changes again and he says, oh, actually, Vladimir is the best guy I've ever met. And then in 3 days, he's been like, actually, you know what? I think we should nuke Syktyvkar. And then in 4 days, it's like, Vladimir and I are getting married. So let's wait for any action, right? Before we make our judgments on the situation, we will wait for action to back it up. Also, an article to confirm my sentiment in a way from Politico. Trump's apparent U-turn on Ukraine cheers Europeans, but skepticism persists. Apparently there were multiple European diplomats extremely skeptical about the situation. A very common belief in the diplomatic circles regarding Trump is that he tends to be influenced by the last person he talks to or last people that he talks to. A lot of people believe it. We've already discussed it. Remember when we were covering their meeting with some of the NATO states heads, right? And he had apparently this phone call from Putin during the meeting, and the European officials were kind of glad that he did because they were like, okay, if he talks to Putin now, and then we talk to him after that, maybe we will be able to kind of change his mind because we will be the last people he talked to on the matter. So maybe he will stick with our take on the. So yeah, apparently this is it. So it could be one of the reasons. I'm not sure how true this is, but it's kind of funny that a lot of these cool diplomats actually believe that this is how the U.S. president operates. Elation over Trump's pro-Ukraine post yeah, obviously clouded with doubts that he will ever follow through with tougher action against Russia. Exactly, right? Let's wait for tougher action. This is what I'm telling you, everybody. Has Donald Trump suddenly converted to being a fervent Ukraine supporter? No one believes it, right? We'll see. Well, we'll see. EU officials trying to make sense of the apparent shift were caught between elation and skepticism, pointing out that Trump frequently changes his position and may well do so again after a persuasive call with another leader, a reality that has made it all the more difficult for leaders to craft a response to the ongoing war and recent provocations from Moscow and European airspace far away from Ukraine. So, yeah. Actually, interesting enough, this is what Medvedev pointed out in his Telegram post. Okay, you guys, I promised you we will not be looking at Medvedev's post, but I guess I'm addicted to him. This is exactly what he said. So, yeah, he just called our president weird slur and also the Polish one. They're so weirdly triggered by Poland all the time. Anyway, yeah, Trump has once again was caught in an alternative reality, says Medvedev. That's Russian former president, by the way. Or as I like to refer to him, a basement-dwelling alcoholic. And talked about how weak Russia is, but no. Trump isn't like Obama and Biden. I have no doubts he will come back. He always comes back. Maybe in a couple of days he will offer the green pianist, that's Zelenskyy, to sign a capitulation, or to fly to Mars with Musk, whom he has already forgiven, or to do something important for him to win the Nobel Prize. Right, so even Medvedev is mocking the fact that Trump is hot and cold on so many issues. Right, and then he also mockingly says, the most important is to change your point of view as often as possible, and then everything will be good. This is the entire point of the successful ruling of the state, right, through social media, which is, okay, rich coming from Medvedev, but, right, they also know this. They know how much of how huge of an obstacle this is for the Allies when they try to navigate the situation. And in a way, yeah, the Russians are kind of cheering. At least they're trying to make it seem like, okay, it's not as bad, actually. It's kind of good for us. But then again, when is this not their reaction? Okay, something else I wanted to discuss. Let me see what you guys are saying, if you're saying anything. Are you? I don't know if he's on meth. I doubt this, but the fact that he is... Yeah, he is an alcoholic and has been for a while. I think this is a very... By this point in time, it's a pretty known fact. It used to be like a joke, like a meme, but yeah, now I think everybody knows. In 2 weeks, Trump will deny he said it. Yeah, that's the worry here, right? Also, he says so many things. That's why it's so much more important to look at the actions, right? At will these words be followed up by any sort of significant, meaningful action? Maybe yes, maybe no. Why do we have doubts? Because, yeah, we've seen this film before in a way, right? I will be very glad to be wrong and to see hundreds of thousands of weapons flying into Ukraine and, the eastern flank of Europe. But yeah, for some reason I have doubts. What's my favorite Taylor Swift song? Oh, thank you, Zoe. Thank you, there, Zoe. My favorite Taylor Swift song, probably Champagne Problems. I think so, yeah. But also recently I've been listening to Style, like non-stop, on repeat. It's such a fun song. But yeah, Champagne Problems, such a beautiful one. I don't know. It's very good for for daydreaming. All these dramatic scenarios that never happened to me. And it will never happen at this rate. Anyway. China already copied all my business anyway. Everyone's business. We have had many little crashes on our mobile services, also including internet, more and more. Wait, Melly, where was that? Was that in Finland? Or was it somewhere else? It was a long time no see. Were you on YouTube before? Aha, yes, you were telling Zoe. Hello, Bram. And we were also talking, everybody, about all of these hybrid attacks. There was another one. So this is something else that we also have to discuss with all of the GPS jamming. Apparently, it wasn't just Ursula von der Leyen, and it wasn't just the German officials whose planes were also jammed. It was also Spanish defense minister who had her jet jammed as well. So we're going to discuss that in a moment. Yeah, that's one of the downsides. Oh, thank you, CatGPT. That's one of the downsides, I guess, of democracy. Sometimes you end up with people like this. Obviously, if the times were slightly different, perhaps it wouldn't be that big a deal. But yeah, well, we'll have to figure things out. Thankfully, not everything is up to him, right? You guys have your own capabilities and you have your own ideas and understanding of the situation, and I think these days it's becoming more and more clear that, you know, there has a different path has to be forged. So, and that it's possible, very much so. Maybe it's not going to be rapid, you know, the shift in the security architecture, but it's very much possible, because why not? Who else could do it if not the European Union? So, Alaska says, I love all Taylor Swift songs. We have some Swifties in the chat. Laura says, my favorites are Romeo and Juliet. Oh, that's a good one. Safe and Sound, and Shake It Off. Oh, I remember when Shake It Off was released. It was like a cultural reset. My God. Oh, thank you, Karen. That's very lovely of you to say. Thank you. Josh says, I could name a Taylor Swift song, but they're all on my playlist thanks to my girls. You see, they're gradually getting you into the club as well. It's soft power, right? This is how soft power works. Hi to you too, Bram. Okay, so the Spanish defense minister's jet, everybody, suffers GPS disturbance near, you will never guess it, you guys will never guess it, Kaliningrad. Once again, just a reminder to those of you on YouTube, in case you have forgotten where Kaliningrad is. Kaliningrad. There it is. This thing. The pimple on the body of Europe. One of the many heritages of the World War II. So right here we have Lithuania, here we have Poland, this is right here is Belarus, this is Kaliningrad. So the Spanish defense minister apparently was on her way to Lithuania with a working visit. And then her jet got suspiciously jammed. Plane was also carrying relatives of NATO mission members. But this was really funny. Defense source said they do not believe plane was specifically targeted. Yeah, it was just random. Just a random thing. Just jamming airplanes. No specific reason, just for funsies. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. Spanish military jet with Defense Minister Margarita Robles on board experienced a GPS disturbance early on Wednesday as it flew near Russia's Kaliningrad exclave on its way to Lithuania. Yeah. So it was her, relatives of Spanish airmen who form part of the NATO air policing mission in the Baltic. Yeah. The Spanish contingent known as the Vilkas mission, from the Lithuanian word for wolf, okay, I like that, consists of 8 Eurofighter aircraft in the, oh wait, how do you pronounce that? Šiauliai airfield in place since July 31st, the Lithuanian Defense Ministry said. So I guess it's the part of the ongoing reinforcements sent to Lithuania, huh? Yeah, last week it took off 8 times to inspect Russian aircraft flying over the Baltic Sea, Spain's defense minister said on Wednesday. And anyway, yeah, and then they specified that the plane was not specifically targeted. It was just a common disruption. Why is it a common disruption? Why is it a common disruption? A defense source speaking on condition of anonymity. Why? Any ideas, any thoughts, any feelings? Oh, okay. So yeah, that's just the most recent one in what's becoming a long line, a long chain of the various EU officials' jets getting jammed by accident, of course, I guess. It was just, they probably thought it was a Ukrainian plane or something, so. Anyway, just wanted to briefly discuss that as well before there's another topic that is of interest, I think, to me and probably 3 more people. But we will still discuss it anyway, because I want to discuss it, so. Seems the people's money counts at least. Look at what happened with Kimmel after the boycotts. Ah, yes. I mean, even if some of the estimates for how much money they have lost because of people unsubscribing, even if it was even if a third of it was true, it was clearly massive. So, yeah, if there is anything these corporations understand, it's their money and their wallets when it stings. So, yeah. Okay, one thing, you guys. We had what seemed like a small thing, but in reality, it's actually kind of massive. Well, at least for us, at least for the region. So, the Chinese vessel docked in the Russian-occupied Crimea for the first time since the annexation in 2014. So, we have talked about the signs of growing, closer and closer collaboration between Russia and China. Actually, interestingly, another thing that Zelenskyy said in his UN speech was that, quote unquote, without China, Putin's Russia is nothing. And this ties in with what we have discussed previously, right? That they are now economically tied, and that without Xi's backing, it's not likely that Putin would have been able to do some of the things, at least some of the things that he's currently doing, and that the continuation of the war depends heavily on China's position, considering... Hello, Maddie. Good to see you. Hello. How are you? I was worried for a second. I don't get how this is still going on. It's crazy. So these things tend to continue until someone stops them. So that's the thing about rabid dictators with imperial ambitions. So yeah, unfortunately, obviously it doesn't make anyone happy. So anyway, yeah, we've talked, right? We've talked about this, how, thank you, Josh, how heavily reliant Russia is becoming on China and how it's gradually turning into a vassal state. And yeah, this is something that Zelenskyy also commented on. And also their growing close cooperation and all of the different things, some of which are not announced perhaps, some of which we can only guess, but this ties in with the overarching narrative of, growing Chinese-Russian cooperation, the fact that the Chinese vessel came into Crimea for the first time. The Chinese Haiyan 9 cargo ship has repeatedly docked at the port of Russian-occupied Sevastopol in Crimea, which has been under Western sanctions since 2014. This was according to Financial Times, but they're referencing Ukrainian officials, so it's... oh wait, no, who was signing? Who was... Yes, they were. Okay, this is just a really weird phrasing by Kiev Independent. They were citing Ukrainian authorities, because I remember seeing the statement. You will not confuse me, Kiev Independent. Anyway, so yeah. This is not the first occasion this particular vessel has been in and out of the area for a while, but I think it's the first time it has like actually docked. So yeah, the strengthening ties between Moscow and Beijing. For a lot of people, this is something that you might not necessarily know, but the Russian annexation of Crimea is widely unrecognized. So none of their friends, none of their buddies recognize Crimea. Even Lukashenko has been constantly like, you know, back and forth on this. Because yeah, everybody understands the consequences of this. Even, you know, such terrible, terrible people. But yeah, it would make sense in the light of their ever-growing mutual affection. And I would imagine if, for instance, she were to recognize Crimea as Russian, it would have been, you know, a great way for, you know, an introduction of perhaps Russia immediately recognizing Taiwan as Chinese if something were to happen. Who knows, right? Just an idea. The Panama-flagged Hengyan 9 ship is owned by the Chinese company Guangxi Shanghai Shipping Company. The vessel left Istanbul on September 2nd and was near the Russian Black Sea port city of Novorossiysk. We're going to talk about Novorossiysk too. There were some interesting explosions here today. But yeah, just another step, I guess. We were talking about all of the possible normalization steps taken towards recognizing Crimea as Russian, how, you know, there were all of this dangling of the possible American sanctions getting lifted, which thankfully haven't come to fruition. No one has lifted anything. But yeah, while all of this talk was happening, China just decided to do something, and yeah, they took a very significant step in this direction. Militarily speaking, it's interesting to see what kind of possibility this opens up for instance, if we talk about the supplies for Crimea, in particular military supplies. We've talked about the constant drone strikes on the Russian Black Sea fleet that used to be headquartered in Sevastopol by Ukrainian drones and missiles, and how the fleet was forced to at least partially flee to Novorossiysk in Russian Krasnodarsky Krai because of these strikes. So this obviously created some shortages and problems with logistics for them. What would happen if instead of the Russian ships, the supplies were provided by the Chinese ships, and it would be presented as just a regular cargo ship that brought some junk from AliExpress like labubus and underwear, I guess, I don't know, right? Immediately it opens up a horrifying possibility, because I don't think it would be as easy for us to strike something like, you know, just an innocent Chinese cargo ship, again, bringing the counterfeit labubus for the children of Crimea. So, oh, hello, Jonathan, thank you. So yeah, that was something that I immediately thought of. That will be an interesting situation unraveling in my beloved home region. So obviously I couldn't ignore this. And while we were on the topic of Novorossiysk, let me show you some of the explosions. Cat GPT with the hearts. Thank you, dear. Thank you. A millennial heart for you. I always do the Gen Z hearts, which sometimes confuse some of you guys, but yeah, it's also hearts, just a small one. But I'm capable. I'm quite proficient in the art of the millennial heart as well, so I did it like this and like this. I'm very good at this stuff. Okay, Novorossiysk, everybody. Where is Novorossiysk, to those of you who do not know? Novorossiysk. So many new locations we discover daily. That so many of us wouldn't even possibly hear of in the perfect world. It's right here. So to those of you who remember where Crimea is, this is Crimea, and Novorossiysk is right here. And after things started exploding repeatedly in Sevastopol, some of the Russian ships, a lot of them actually, a lot of the Black Sea Fleet ships were taken here because, as you can see, I think it's because of the shape of the bay. It used to provide better coverage for the ships in case, you know, a friendly drone visits the area, but apparently not anymore. So there was not an overnight, it was actually during the daytime. It was a pretty big drone strike, thank you, Maddie, targeting the port and the city center. And, 50%. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Maddie. Yay. Woo. Thank you. Okay, let's look at the video of something exploding. That's just terrifying to see this type of stuff, honestly. Even now, after we have seen so much of this stuff. Because unfortunately, this type of stuff, it's inevitable. You cannot do a high precision strike with drone. We're seeing this all the time. All the time. We're seeing this type of damage on our territory, and now we're also seeing this on their territory as well. I also had another video. I think that's Zoe. Thank you. Have we achieved something? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Aren't you the coolest? Thank you, everyone. Okay, that's...
Плывет. А когда его взорвут-то? Чего его не взрывают? О, ни хрена! Вон, смотри, что там.
Смотри, что там. This looks like a pretty massive attack. So what the person was saying at the beginning...
Плывет.
It's swimming.
Плывет.
Meaning the drone.
А когда его взорвут-то?
When will they blow it up? Why
Чего
aren't
не
they
взрывают?
blowing it up?
О,
And then there is an
ни
explosion.
хрена! Вон, смотри, что
And
там.
then there is an explosion. I think it's a base of sorts, I'm not sure.
Ну.
And then it's across the city. I would assume that the main target was the base of the... Oh, who are these guys? Thank you, Josh. I've never seen these ones before. Thank you. The birds. I miss my birds. So yeah, most likely it's the Black Sea Fleet's new naval base. I still cannot get used to the fact that it's like their main base now. It's so tied to Sevastopol to me. Yeah, well, you could have stayed in Sevastopol, I guess, if you weren't a bunch of a-holes. Because the contract that we have had for renting out the ports of Sevastopol was continued, I think, under Yanukovych for like 50 years or something, so... Oh well. So, yeah, you can see the devastation was pretty bad. So that was Novorossiysk. Before that, several days ago, there was also a pretty big drone alert in Moscow as well. But I didn't really understand what was the... Like, I saw a bunch of different videos, and it clearly caused some psychological damage, I guess, in a sense that whenever Moscow is targeted, it's all, we've already discussed, right, how it always makes the headlines, and everyone is discussing this because there is this impact, right, that other places do not necessarily have when they're hit. I don't know, for some reason didn't really impress me. I'm not easily impressed anymore. But yeah, I think... Wait, I had some other topics as well. Fox News was really mad about the fact that Trump had an escalator turned off for him. Oh, hello, Mirja. Good to see you. Jesse Waters. Oh, ChatGPT with the crab. Thank you. Thank you. Every time I see Jesse Waters, I am left just bewildered utterly. First at his eyebrows, and second at the nonsense that he continues saying. But yeah, apparently his response to Trump having an escalator turned off for him at the UN was to suggest they bomb UN. Okay.
Worry. What's going on with the escalator? What do you think?
Yeah, they sabotaged them.
Yeah.
And they could have hurt the First Lady.
Yeah.
Trump would have fallen and he would have gotten back up. But, you know...
They would have blamed it on his rhetoric.
And then they sabotaged the teleprompter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an insurrection. And what we need to do is either leave the UN or we need to bomb it. It is in New York, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how many bombers Jesse Waters personally owns, but yeah, that's an interesting idea. He reminds me of remember how in the Hunger Games they have this host what was his name? Caesar Flickerman, right? Something like that. That's who I think of whenever I see this. Whenever I see this guy. The tan, the eyebrows, saying nonsense all the time. Anyway, I wish I could forget him. That was the clip of Rute, but we have already discussed that. We have discussed what he talked about, but we can look at it still. Just a moment, let me catch up with the chat. 77 new messages. Sorry, everyone. How do professional streamers do it? How do they keep up with everything? I don't even have this, crazy flow. I have only the cool people here with me, and I still cannot keep up. What's wrong with me? Yeah, we're going to be looking at Rute in a second, so if you're not on YouTube and you would like to see his face, in case you have forgotten what he looks like, you can come and see. Don't worry, you're not going to see Jesse Waters anymore. Oh, it's a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It's like a Pokemon. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. The naval drones were used to launch FPs. Right, that's one of the coolest things they have come up with, right? I think it's the SBU ones, the SBU drones. That they have tested similar stuff like this when they were striking the Crimean bridge. So, and I think Sevastopol too. When they hit Sevastopol, something similar was done as well. But although I'm pretty sure the biggest strike that we have seen on Sevastopol, when a lot of the higher ups of the Black Sea Fleet were taken out, they have used the ATACMS back then. And that was the strike that was originally meant for the Crimean bridge, but they ended up hitting the headquarters, which I think, yeah, it was much more impactful. Obviously, the stupid bridge has to go eventually, but the headquarters with some of the admirals in it, yeah, that definitely had an impact. I think after that they moved fully to Novorossiysk because what is happening? Only they are allowed to bomb other people's. No one else allowed to bomb them back. That's how life's supposed to be. Some were also kamikaze drones. There are different drones, right? We also have a bunch of drones. That's good. My favorite is still the Sea Baby. Just because of the name. It's very cute. And docks into upset. Wow. I didn't know that. I only saw the footage. And I was like, okay. That's another crap. Thank you. We have achieved the goal. ChatGPT, yay. Thank you. Millennial heart. I love when Fox gets mad, especially when he wasn't even mad. It was, I don't even know what that emotion was. I think by this point in time he has so much buttocks in his face, it's impossible to say what is an actual emotion. Thank you, Bram. That he is experiencing at any given moment. It's like this at all times. We should bomb the UN. And is he angry? Is he sad? Is he making a joke? Like there was a weird laughter, like a wolf was a. So I guess he was making a joke because the other guy was making these sounds. But I'm bewildered every single time, and every time I see him, it's like it keeps growing. Yeah, be careful, you guys, with filler. When you get filler, if you get filler, please don't, by the way, but if you do, be careful. This stuff tends to pile up, and then it's impossible to get rid of it. How Jesse Waters is still allowed on TV. I guess we'll never know, Loris. I guess we'll know. Well, apparently he has personal bombers, so, thank you, Wolvers. Thank you. If he has personal bombers, he can use to attack UN with, so... Maybe they're scared of firing him. Trump's own people turn off the escalator. The fact that they turned it into such a huge thing, too. Okay, so they turned the escalator. Melania and Donald stood there for like 3 seconds, and then they walked up. That's it. That's the story. Oh my god, you would listen to these people like Jesse Woods. Caroline Levitt was like added. She was ready to persecute every single escalator manufacturer in the world. Because what do you mean Donald Trump has to walk places? No. This is insane. Kimmel is back on. Yeah, I saw his monologue. I really liked that joke about the, how you were subscribed to Disney Plus and Hulu. Because ultimately this is what all of this is about, you guys. It's all about the money and their pockets. Excuse me, everybody. Still sick. Oh, I know. Stanley Tucci would be much, much better. Not children's nightmares. Come on. I don't think he knows that it's in New York. Or maybe he wants to bomb New York. Oh my god, no. Please. It's called Fox Face. Oh Christ. I thought it was like the Mar-a-Lago special, the Mar-a-Lago makeover. But yeah, maybe it's both. We love them, don't we, Maddie? I love the sea baby. I think that's the cutest one I have heard so far. Okay, Rute, everybody. I promise you, Rute. Apologies. I was ranting and catching up with everybody. Okay.
And as no immediate threat was assessed here in this case, shooting down the MiGs was not necessary. And of course, what we will always do is to make sure that we react in a proportionate way. But if necessary, you can be assured we will do what is necessary to defend our cities, our people, our infrastructure. But this is how it works. So it doesn't mean that we will always immediately shoot down a plane. We will, as I said, based on clear dimensions, assess the situation real time, based on all the available intelligence. And that's exactly what happened here.
Okay, baby, we could barely hear you, but what he was trying to say, here's a little recap. Right, they did not shoot down the 3 Russian MiGs that violated Estonian airspace because there was no need, right? But this doesn't mean we won't... Okay, that's nice. This doesn't mean we won't shoot down a plane immediately if necessary. First, we assess the situation, but if required, we will do what's necessary. So either they have actually assessed the situation prior to that, and we're like, okay, 3 Russian MiGs entering the Estonian airspace for 12 minutes is no biggie. It's fine. We don't care. Or this is a little bit of damage control, and they're now saying that, they're now trying to play it cool and be like, we've always known, and 2 steps ahead. I'm always 2 steps ahead, like Nico Caro Avocado. Either or. We'll never know. I guess we'll never know, but yeah, that was his statement on the matter. I would like to believe the first, but also, thank you, Tompa. But also I have a feeling it might be the second. But then again, they still have time. They still have time to reinforce their air defense capabilities, and this is something that they're doing at the moment. So no one has greater trust in the NATO more than a random Eastern European Ukrainian person that's not even in the NATO. Okay, I'm just looking at the list of things. I think we have discussed everything. We've also had the Estonian statement in the UN as well. But yeah, that's pretty much things that we have already discussed. Obviously, Estonia is extremely unhappy about the situation, but we haven't really learned anything new from that statement, so I won't be playing it out loud, but it's good to see it, at least something seemingly useful happening in the UN. I'm so used to most of the things there being just pointless, so... Alright, I think that's most of the things that I wanted to discuss for today. Let me know, you guys, if you have any questions or anything at all that you would like to discuss. Let me open something nice for YouTube in the meantime. I can wait until those naval drones go submarine and then launch. Oh my god, this is so nice. I wanted to hug it, but I couldn't. Thank you, Cinderella. Thank you. Yeah, we're very close to that. We're very close to that, and it's going to be both fascinating and horrifying. But yeah, we're almost there. It's all about the drones, everybody. Whether we like it or not, it's gonna be all about the drones. Oh my god, we're almost at 70,000. We are at 70,000 likes, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are very sweet. Thank you. Donald could have died walking up that escalator. No, I like how you said Melania could have. Oh, thank you, Bram. Thank you. The cake. Melania could have got hurt. Donald would have fallen down and then he would have gotten up or something. So that was like, they cannot even say something about like, oh, he could have gotten hurt. No, no, no. He could, no, he's in perfect health. Melania, yeah, she's so frail and weak, and Eastern European, Central Eastern European people, they're not really people. But silly woman. But he would have. See, if it were Donald against the escalator, my money would be on the escalator. But if you listen to Jesse Waters, it's Donald all the way. What have we learned today, everybody? What have we learned today? That it's important to not panic. I think this is the main lesson of today's live stream. Even if there are drones flying into your territory, it's important to first not panic, and second, do not try and avoid the situation. Let's not. What was that meme? If I pretend it's not here, maybe if it will go away. If I pretend. Maybe it will go away. Do we have this meme? Yes. If I ignore it, maybe it will go. It's one of my favorite memes, you guys. Can I open image only in the new tab? That's the one. Now that's unfortunately not a good tactic. I know in these last 3 years, certain actors, certain players in the European Union, and not only in the European Union, in the States as well, we still have a lot of actors in the States pretending that this is a situation, applying this to their foreign policy and their defense policies as well. If we ignore it, maybe it will go away. It will not. It will not. So yeah, it's better to use the time that is given, to the best of our ability and to prepare for the worst possible scenario. And we're already seeing a lot of players waking up. We have discussed how France is preparing, how they're preparing their hospitals, right, to take thousands of wounded soldiers potentially. Germany has also announced that they're doing the same thing. They're also preparing their hospitals as well, which scared some people, but at the same time, trust me, not being prepared for this type of stuff is much worse. I will never forget the first couple days of the full-scale invasion when so many of our hospitals started just running out of the most essential things, and we had to just crowdfund and fundraise for the basic necessities, because the injured immediately obviously started pouring in all of the hospitals across the country. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So learn from our mistakes. I think a lot of you are, but just in case, don't panic, keep calm, carry on, as the British people would say. So yeah, did you guys hear the bells? Oh, thank you, Tony. That was very sweet of you to say. Thank you. No. Just, rest in peace, Melanie. He could have made a commercial. I have fallen and can't get. Send me your donations so that I could. Yeah, only you, fellow patriots, could help me get back on track after the woke escalator almost got me. Maybe, Loris. Honestly, by this point in time, yeah, it's probably our best and only hope. Don't panic, you can always wait for another escalator. But yeah, if you're lucky. Hello, Feisty, good to see you. Good to see you. I see. And it jumped. Of course it did. I was trying to scroll up a little bit to see if I missed any comments. Figs are on sale in the UK right now. Nearly made some in your name. By the way, thank you so much for your tip. That was the best advice ever. I love this combo. I don't know, for some reason I wouldn't figure this out myself. I was very suspicious of the goat cheese with figs, and I don't know why. I think it's sometimes the conservative Ukrainian in me awakens, and we have quite specific taste palette because when you're not exposed to many things growing up, you tend to be wary of new tastes and experimenting with food. But yeah, that was such a wonderful combination. Thank you for the advice. All right, everybody. It's very French, right? I mean, it did sound and tasted also in the best way. Very, very French way. My dad lived there for a year. Okay, so you're in on all the secrets. I see. That's very cool. I love this. Okay, you guys, if you do not have any questions about anything else, then we will be wrapping this one up, okay? Because that's pretty much all the topics I wanted to discuss for today. My plan, I'm in the south. I was swimming a lot until I got sick. But I'll be on my way back soon. So hopefully I'll make it back. Despite the drones and stuff. And I will be fine. So yeah, let's start from the beginning. So 2 hours ago. Okay, some of the topics that I'm not gonna go obviously into the detail, but we have discussed the 3 drones in Denmark, in Copenhagen airport, that have closed down the airport and also caused the Oslo airport in Norway to be shut down, and apparently were also spotted in Sweden as well. But in Sweden and in Norway they couldn't figure out whether or not the things they saw were drones or not. But yeah, by the looks of it, it was the drones, and most likely the drones that came from suspicious Russia-tied ships in the sea. So we talked about that. The drones then disappeared magically into the beautiful night. Then after that, guys, what else have we talked about? I have forgotten. The strike on Novorossiysk in Russia we talked about. China, for the first time, sending its cargo ship to the Russia-occupied Crimea. Some of the UN General Assembly highlights, in particular Zelenskyy Trump situation. Trump making seemingly a U-turn on Truth Social and becoming Ukraine's #1 fan, which we're all very skeptical about. Zelenskyy being clearly coached how to train your Trump and how to be nice and how to say all of the necessary things to not cause a tantrum from Trump and JD. The Spanish defense minister's jet getting jammed in Kaliningrad area when she was on her way to Lithuania. So, was there anything else, everybody? Is there anything I'm forgetting? But I think that was it. I think, and yes, thank you everybody for 81,000. It's an incredible place to live, honestly, Josh. It's a fascinating place, but yeah, it's also. Now, honestly, I cannot think of any downsides. I think I've told you guys before, maybe during our Sunday lives, but I think I've mentioned it, that it makes me think of what Crimea could have been like, if it wasn't turned into whatever they're making of it right now. But yeah, it had the potential, because the nature here is it reminds me of the southern Crimea, because southern Crimea is also, it's surrounded by the mountains, and because of that the climate is very mild. And they also have palm trees there. Oh, thank you, Em. Thank you. In Yalta in particular. But yeah. Anyway, very nice area to live in, because I am of firm opinion that the South is where it's at, because I am from the South, so obviously I'm biased. All right, everyone, on this wonderful note, I will be saying my goodbyes, and I'm gonna go and, apply this to myself and also some other medicine. Thank you, Em. Thank you. Because I'm still sick, and I think you can already hear it. You can already hear the yeah, it's coming. It's coming in. Anyway, thank you for the support, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the gifts and the likes and all of the engagement. I really, really appreciate it. The plan is, as always, to go live on Friday, just like before. If I survive, if I really hope it will get even. Oh, thank you, Direwolf. I hope it gets even better by Friday, and yeah, we will do everything as planned. But I will let you know, as always, on my Instagram story before, before the live, whether or not there's going to be one. Okay, so we'll just do it same way as always. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Will do. We'll hydrate. You too, take care, okay? Mwah. Until next time, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. And YouTube, you guys, thank you as well. Sorry, got a little lazy over here. Not that many exciting things happening, but I will continue working on it. I will try to prepare something fun also for the next one, to maybe show you some fun things in between, not just the awful politicians and explosions. Okay. Thank you all. Until next time. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. You take care too, and a peaceful night to all of you as well. No, I haven't tried an escargot, and honestly, by this point in time, I'm too afraid to even imagine what this would be like. Wait, you guys, I'm just realizing that I've missed a bunch of comments from you. I'm so sorry, it was not on purpose. I had my tablet in front of me, and for some reason the chat stopped moving here. Sorry, everyone. I'll do better next time, okay? Don't get mad at me. I'm just realizing it now. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah. I'll see you all next time too, okay? Until Friday, hopefully. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.